discussing hard-hitting issues of the day. The Naked Politixxx Podcast with Jeff, Emil, and jan-argy.
Welcome to the Independence Day special episode of the Naked Politixxx Podcast. First things first, we would like to thank everyone who have listened to our dry run podcast on political forecasting the 2022 election. It is still available in our social media platform, so please subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter account. Just search Naked Politixxx Podcast. Hopefully, we would be available in Spotify and other podcasting mediums soon. Joining us are my co-podcasters, Jeff, who is podcasting from Dublin, and Emil, who is podcasting from Manila. Paul and EM will also be joining us in this Independence Day podcast. For today's episode, we will be discussing the right to free speech. Free speech, for purposes of clarity in this podcast, isn't just about spoken words. It could be a book you published, a video you posted online, or a tattoo you imprinted on your skin. Free speech is the mother of all your rights as it reinforces all other human rights. It is important for it help us make meaningful changes in society. Dahil dito nagkaroon ng karapatang bumoto ang mga kababaihan at naging maayos ang pagtrato sa mga manggagawa. And that is why speech must be unfettered to honor the sacrifices of life and blood for rights and freedoms like that of Socrates, who was forced to drink the hemlock, for supposedly teaching the value of free speech to the young of Athens, of Jesus Christ, whose words and teachings brought him to the hills of Golgotha. O lalayo pa ba tayo para sa mga sakripisyo ni Rizal so that we may be able to exercise the rights and freedom we take for granted now. Kaya naman sa episode na ito ng ating podcast, we will give it to you pure and unadulterated. We will not edit or cut anything from this podcast, but there might be words or ideas you vehemently disagree. We ask you to keep an open mind, for this episode is rated X. X sa sarado ang pag-iisip, X sa nagbibingi-bingihan, at X sa nagbubulag-bulagan. Again, warning, we do not lay claim expertise on this topic. We're just friends discussing an important issue that we think should be brought out in public. Okay. Again, welcome guys, and thank you Jeff, thank you Emil for dito, and then thank you to Paul and EM for joining us tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Sinabi na natin, di ba? I think we don't need to discuss the importance of free speech. It's something that we breathe or consume every day. In fact, parang hindi na nga natin siya na-appreciate because normal na sa atin yan di ba? But sa mga nangyayari sa mundo ngayon, I think some people begin to appreciate again the value of free speech. So, let's start. Alam natin that free speech is a given right. But what are the limitations to free speech? EM, could you throw us some examples of limitations to free speech? Alam natin, di ba, libel, for example, is a limitation. But libel in itself is also limited by jurisprudence, hindi ba? Public officials are no longer immune from, well, I mean, they're EM.
Yun nga, when it comes to libel, it's a limitation to free speech. You cannot claim free speech kapag nag-utter ka ng malibelous statement. Pero it also accepts of exceptions din, which is like yung fair commentaries, ma-comment sa government officials. If it's related to their function, it may not amount to libel. Then, aside from libel, another exception nga, yung fear and present danger. Fear and present danger rule, which is kung by the nature ng speech mo, it would cause fear and present danger to the general public, pwedeng ma-censure yung speech mo. You cannot claim na...
Ang example niyan, yung sa sinihan, hindi ba?
Yes. Yung laging example sa mga libro, yung sisigaw ka ng sunog sa sinihan.
Pero walang sunog.
which
you
we
would call
na
fear and present danger.
fear and present danger.
Paul, Emil?
Simone.
Ikaw, Paul. Go ahead.
Ang naalala ko, sir, na restriction sa free speech yung inciting to sedition. Kasi may andun sa revised penal code na kahit emblems, in-amplify din yun dun sa terror bill. Na kahit insignia or drawing.
Okay. Anyone can answer this, pero hindi ba naalala nyo yung teacher na nag-post sa Twitter na giving 50 million for anyone who would assassinate the president? Would that be considered inciting to sedition? Would that be unprotected speech? Anong legal theory mo, Emil?
Well, since inciting to sedition is a mala in se, it's a crime prohibited under the revised penal code. So intent functions in the appreciation of this crime. So if there is no intent to really be seditious, then he can use the lack of intent as a defense against a crime against a crime dun sa sedition. So I would like to answer dun sa question mo kanina. Although the Constitution provides primacy to the freedom of speech, but not all speeches are created equal. Some are protected speeches, some are not protected speeches. Attorney M was already said about libel, Paul already said about seditious speeches. Yes. Additional to this is, for instance, obscene speeches, for instance. These are not protected speeches.
Can you give an example, Emil? Ano yung obscene? What could be considered obscene?
Pornography.
Lahat ng pornography?
Well, that is the classic example of obscene speeches. For instance, the hardcore pornography, it can be regulated by the state. In fact, that is the reason why the Philippine government banned some websites, diba? And in the United States, there is actually a theory that says that pornography is speech. Diba? But here in the context of the Philippines, the Philippine government banned pornographic websites, even though they are legal in the United States.
So, pero EM, could you answer this? Bakit halimbawa, I'm not sure now, pero yung mga abante at the onset, meron silang mga pictures of women na stars lang, covering the nipples and the private parts, but basically that's it. Or merong yung Serex, I don't know kung inabot nyo yan o binabasa nyo yan, pero why is this available in print but may not be available in broadcast? Kung pinapayagan sa broadsheet, kung pinapayagan sa print, bakit hindi pinapayagan sa TV? Or bakit wala, I don't know, may narinig na ba kayo na parang erotic programming in radio? Do we have an answer to that, Ian?
I think it would be more related sa sa censorship pagdating sa mga governing bodies nila. Like, kung yun nga, yung sa mga pornographic websites, decision ng NTC yun, di ba? To ban them. Tapos, yung sa newspapers naman, hindi ko sure kung bakit nakakalusot yung mga Serex and yung mga ganong articles. Pero, most likely, because they pass yung censorship rules ng publication. Like, yun nga, kaya nga may stars sa nipples. Kasi nga, sa Philippines, hanggang di pinapakita yung nipple, okay lang. Hindi pa siya porn. So you mean, kung halimbawa may Showtime dancer na may star sa nipple at doon sa private part, similar to that on printed materials, pwede siyang magsayaw sa Showtime or sa Itbulaga kung basta may takip yung nipples, because that's being shown
on print media.
Again, doon siya sa sir, sa body na nag-regulate. So,
well, of course, hindi pa payagan ng MTRCB yun. Pero,
yeah.
hindi pa payagan ng MTRCB yun. Yung mga shorts ni Vice Ganda o mga damitan ni Ann Curtis, pinupuna. More ganun pa, hindi ba? Pero yun nga ang tanong ko, bakit if that it's not considered obscenity in print, why can't it be done on radio or on TV? I mean, on radio, yun, halimbawa yung kung may mga erotic programs na ginagawa na piniprint sa dyaryo. What do you think, Jeff? I mean, ethically speaking, di ba parang unfair? Pwede sa dyaryo pero bawal sa TV? Nakamute ka.
Actually, I think it's unfair. Kasi so far, ang alam ko lang na may law against pornography ay yung anti-cybercrime law. Kasi merong specific provision doon na bawal ang child pornography. So makitaan ka lang ng isang material na nakasave sa phone mo, sa laptop mo, about child pornography, liable ka agad ng anti-cybercrime law. Pero wala akong nakita na, so far, hindi ko alam, baka kasi hindi man ako lawyer, pero so far, wala akong nakita na explicit na law na nagbaban ng pornography.
Okay, I mean, someone who consumes porn, do you think it's fair? For someone who is a consumer of pornography?
Yeah, I think that should be freedom of expression. Ibang school of thoughts to Pero naniniwala ako doon na parang it's a private matter, 'di ba? Parang what you do in bed is a private matter, and the content that you consume, as long as there's no child pornography in there, I think it's okay.
How about bestiality?
That's against animals' rights naman. So, as long as kasi yung consent, importante yung consent, di ba? As long as yung mga nasa porn industry, let's say in the US or in Japan, as long as they know their rights, they're doing it without anyone coercing them, without anyone exploiting them, di ba? Ako naniniwala kung sex work is work. So, parang ganon. So,
okay, I agree.
So,
before we move on to before we move on to other limitation, just a trivia, the Philippines is actually number 8 in producing pornography in the world. We're tied up with Taiwan, and I think it's not China, but there's another Asian country that we tied up. So, yung mga producers ay hindi mga Pinoy. Usually, they are foreign producers, but you see, maganda lang ibigay na trivia. Anyway, could you think of other things na limitations to the freedom of speech? Perjury, right? Perjury is a limitation to freedom of speech. Anything else? Proprietary rights, di ba?
Copyrights.
Yeah, copyrights, trade secrets, di ba? So, anything else? This is something new in Europe, and you might be able to answer this, Jeff. The right to be forgotten.
Yes, actually, that's one big thing.
Can you give us an idea what the right to be forgotten is all about?
So when the European Union passed the regulation, they call it the General Data Protection Regulation. So it's a one step up dun sa dating EU directive lang. It's a directive that a country may or may not apply sa kanila. So kailangan nilang gumawa ng law. Nung dumating yung GDPR, every country will have to adhere to this rule. So it basically protects the privacy of all EU citizens. Within Europe,
so ano pinaprotektahan nito bukod sa privacy? Like for example, child molester ka or may child molester and it's on the website. Does it mean that he can file petition para tanggalin yon?
Actually, yun yung
How do you reconcile that with the right of the public to know that you're a child molester?
Yan yung malaking political questions dito. Parang kung politician ka, nagkaroon ng maraming news about you, searchable ka sa Google, do you have the right to ask Google to take it down. No, mas malaki ba yung rights mo as an individual against the common public good? Parang ganon. So, yan yung context nung debate ngayon dito sa Europe because of the right to be forgotten.
What do you think about it, Emil? Do you think the community right to information is more important over individual rights? Or ang problema kasi dito, individuals, sinasabi nila they might be harassed, they wouldn't be able to find work because this will be posted forever online. So, what do you think?
Of course, there are other information which are public in nature. Meaning to say, it is relevant in a community or in a society. For instance, your criminal records, that is a public information. Therefore, I believe it should not be within that right to be forgotten because the state has a legitimate interest to get that data or to get that information. But there are some private information which have no public relevance that can be erased or deleted permanently. And I think that is that is the focus of the right to be forgotten in Europe. Although I would like to add that the regime or the jurisprudence in Europe and United States regarding regarding sa freedom of expression, magkaiba talaga sila. And mas progressive ang European model when it comes to freedom of expression.
No, totoo din naman yan.
And right of privacy.
Although most of the countries, even China, already signed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the standards are different from every country. For example, blasphemy laws, I'm not sure is there a blasphemy law in the Philippines, pero parang wala. Pero meron yan sa Middle East countries.
Actually, Sir John, meron. Yun yung ginamit kay Carlos Cedran.
Okay. But seldom is it implemented, hindi ba? Kasi yung offending religious feelings, hindi naman not really a big deal sa atin, pero big deal halimbawa sa ibang mga bansa. Hate speech is not illegal in the US, but it's illegal in Canada. Magkapit-bahay lang yan. So, yun nga. Even though most of humanity agrees that the freedom of speech is important and it's innate to us, iba-iba yung standard ng bawat bansa on how they implement and support the freedom of speech. I don't know, non-disclosure agreements. Do we have non-disclosure agreements sa Pilipinas? Is it honored? Is it honored legally, Ian?
Yes, we ask naman people to sign it sa mga contracts ng employees, pag may mga deals. Pero it's very difficult to prosecute based on NDAs kasi ang hirap din i-prove na yung taong yun yung nag-disclose nung first, yung difficulty with NDAs sa Philippines is that usually templated lang NDAs na ginagamit natin. Parang copy-paste lang sa lahat. So,
but is it a legal limitation? Are you limited by NDAs talaga?
Yes, you're limited to what you can say na about what you can say. Actually, may mga NDAs, sir, na bawal ka mag-badmouth dun sa company while you're employed or after employment mo, bawal mo i-badmouth. And also, yung mga trade secrets sila, bawal mo expose. Yan. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So, Sir Jan, so that's another limitation of freedom of speech. I mean, you can waive or you can derogate some level of your freedom of speech through contract. Through, for instance, a stipulation of non-disclosure in your contract. So, contract can limit your freedom of speech.
Okay, thank you. So, I guess we've covered what are the limitations of the freedom of speech, di ba? I mean, nasabi natin yung perjury. Classified information is also one. but I don't know if we have classified information in the Philippines, but with the Freedom of Information Law, o wala pa, di ba? So that's it. So the debate right now is whether all speeches should be protected, di ba? Parang we protect the popular speeches. What needs protections are those unpopular speeches. And one of that unpopular speech is misinformation. And then nakita natin to, I know Paul, kapapanood lang niya ng documentary na 1,000 Cuts, ano ba? Pamagat? Ni Maria Ressa. It's a documentary about the 2016 election and how social media was manipulated for political purposes. But actually that's hindi naman inumpisahan lang ni Duterte yan eh. I mean, it also happened, for example, to Narendra Modi, di ba? In 2014, when he was running for president, for prime minister, yung mga memes like, for example, he was sweeping the floors are also prevalent in social media, in WhatsApp, in India. And may yung mga endorsement ng mga tao, supposedly, like yung kay Duterte noon, ginawa rin ni Modi. This was 2 years before Duterte came to power. And this is misinformation. My question is misinformation too harmful that we have to regulate it? What do you think, Paul?
Yes, sir. I think the documentary also discusses that yung ang nangyayari kasi ngayon, people are confused kung ano yung totoo sa hindi. So, importante na hindi lang fact-checking, sir, but liability should be attached. Kasi ang nangyayari, kasi sasabihin ko to kahit di totoo. Kasi wala naman sa akin magpapunish. So, na yung taong hindi critical, hindi na nila, it's an effective tool for propaganda, di ba? Kaso, ang problem is, yung opinions should not always be just opinions. It should be grounded sa facts, sa data, para mas objective tayo. Parang na-foster na kasi natin yung culture na, opinion ko to, so bahala ka sa opinion mo, basta opinion ko to. Yung problema nga, mali. Parang pag mali, grounded siya sa haka-haka. So I think, magkaroon ng, aside from education, regulation din sa ganun. To shut it down.
But who's gonna regulate it? Government?
I don't know. As the government, definitely, but I doubt
but
they will
do you trust the government to regulate your rights?
No, sir. Sa disinformation, parang yung kapag halimbawa, a factual event, dapat fact yun, hindi yun subject to question. Gets it?
Ito, si Mocha Uson, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
She's a very divisive figure in Philippine politics.
Mm-hmm.
The mere mention of her name nagki-create ng anxiety sa mga tao or whatever she does, di ba? So, I know a long time ago you posted something about her trying to figure out
me.
Mocha Uson. So, what do you think? Is she a threat to our democracy, to our sanity, and what do you think, Emil?
For me, no. Because Mocha Uson, I felt that she is the center of attention because people can easily knock her out. Meaning to say, you bully the people or the people that you think you can bully. And feeling ko, people can bully Mocha Uson. That's why she is the center of attention. But if you are going to look at it from the bigger perspective, Mocha Uson is insignificant. Of course, she has a reach to OFWs, but in terms
below OFWs, it's 5 million
of her
people.
ability to create, even 5 million, but we know that 5 million people mostly are composed of robots, diba? So I felt that we are putting so much our attention to Mocha Uson because we can knock her out, we can bully her, but for me that is an inefficient way to put our attention to, para instead of looking at the real evil, we are focusing at the lesser evil, who is Mocha Uson. For me.
Do you agree with that, Jeff? Si Mocha Uson ay insignificant actor in this problem of misinformation in Philippine politics.
No.
Hindi ba parang she's a representative of what the problem about misinformation is? Dahil siya yung pinakakilala, hindi dahil siya yung kayang ibuli.
Correct. Feeling ko...
That's how I argue it. But what do you think, Jeff?
Feeling ko napaka-dangerous ng Mocha Uson, no? Kasi whatever she says, parang lahat ng tao pinaniniwalaan siya. I mean, at least yung followers niya, pinaniniwalaan siya. And yung...
You follow her?
I follow her, yeah.
Oh.
Well, pero hindi... I mean, majority of yung followers niya, no? Yung mga legions of true followers niya, not just the following her on social media. I mean, yung clout kasi, yung influence niya. So, para siyang ina-amplify niya, para siyang amplifier ng misinformation. So kung sa akin manggaling yung misinformation, walang masyadong bearing yun kasi ang reach ko naman, just my network, my friends. Pero Mocha being a public figure with more than 5 million followers on Facebook, kahit anong sabihin niya, may multiplier effect, no? Kaya
hindi limited sa 5 million yon.
Correct, hindi limited. 5 million with friends and the algorithms of Facebook plus paid ads and lahat ng mga algorithms na yun, that could amplify yung misinformation na ginagawa ni Mocha. And it affects society in general, no? Sa public opinions.
Pero ang tanong ko naman dito, guys.
Sir John, I would like to argue against that.
Oh yeah, explain ko lang din. Ang tanong ko lang dito, Jeff, tsaka sa sinabi ni Paul. Okay, sinasabi natin na she's doing misinformation, whether deliberately or accidentally, and it's bad for democracy and it's bad for us as a society. Pero hindi ba natin pinagtitiwalaan yung tao? Do we not trust the people to fully grasp kung ano yung mga sinasabi niya para maintindihan ano yung tama, ano yung mali, ano yung para sinasabi natin na yung mga true followers ni Mocha would just follow her and would not actually validate or verify? Is that the same argument you want to put out, Emil? Not really.
Yes, sir. Actually, that is part of my argument. But I would like to point out first that I said that we are focusing our attention to Mocha Uson unnecessarily because there is a study on misinformation conducted by some people in the academe who said that the real architect of misinformation in the Philippines are the PR people. The professionals, PR professionals in the Philippines, they are really the architect of misinformation. And sila Mocha and some other bloggers, they are just the amplifiers of the misinformation. So that is what I feel is missing in the discourse on misinformation in the Philippines. Who are these PR people?
Alam natin si Gabonada.
Let's unmask them.
Alam natin si Gabonada yung si Jan, PR, yung social media campaign manager ni Duterte. Pero yun nga, ang sinasabi natin dito, mahirap kalaban yung tao na hindi mo naman kilala. It's an abstract being. And ito, sila Mocha, sila TP, sila Sasot, ito yung mga kilala So ito yung mas hindi naman binubuli, pero they represent sa tingin natin na problema. Di ba?
That's why my argument is that we can defeat Mocha, but there will be another Mocha if since hindi naman natin na defeat yung pinaka-source niya. I mean, we are focusing our attention to Mocha Uson, but Mocha Uson is replaceable, is dispensable. And that is my point, because we are not looking at the root of the problem of misinformation in the Philippines. And it has something to do with the fact that we are not regulating, for instance, the PR industry, the political marketing industry in the Philippines. So feeling ko the government needs laws on that, needs interventions on that regard.
Okay. EM, there was a campaign to ban Mocha on Facebook. Diba? May kampanya na to take her out of Facebook for, I think, for a day, or I don't know kung gaano katagal she was out of Facebook. But do you think it's a right action? Tama ba yun na if we disagree with whatever this person says, that the thing to do or the right thing to do is to campaign for her to be shut out of the conversation? What do you think here?
First, Sir Jan, comment. I'll just like to comment nga sa mga sinabi na kay Jeff at kay Kuya Emil. And then that, I agree with Kuya Emil that the Mocha Uson is only a symptom lang din ng problem eh. Pag in-address natin siya, sinuusan yung pag-address sa kanya, you're only solving the symptom of the disease, which is bakit ang daling ma-misinform or ma-disinform ng mga Filipinos? Bakit naniniwala yung mga Filipinos sa mga nakikita sa internet or sa Facebook? Yung ang bilis maniwala. And I think that is what we need to solve first. Yung paano ba ang tawag? Literacy? Internet literacy ng mga Filipinos. Then, on your question, Sir Jan, yung sa pag-shutdown kay Mocha. Yeah, may ano to eh, parang sa Twitter lumabas, sa Facebook na i-post, i-report siya every 8 p.m. Yeah.
Mass
so
report.
I think mass report. Yeah. I think though I think dapat ni-report yung mga tao, dapat ba reporting ang solution sa misinformation? No, I think hayaan mo siya magsalita. Hayaan mo, let her do what she wants. But on the other hand, yung act ng pag-report, that's also a practice of her freedom eh.
Yeah, that's also an exercise of free speech. When you report a person, that's also an exercise of free speech. But pero yun nga, that's also trying to shut her out. How do you balance that? Diba?
You don't. You let chaos. You let them do you let them do both. Diba? It's if you report a person kasi, you're exercising your free speech. You want people to know that this is wrong, your comments are wrong, this is misinformation. And I think that's within your right naman to do that. And although on one hand, you're limiting that other person. So how do you balance it? I think you just let the market proceed on its own and it will balance itself out.
Well, nangyari yan. For example, pinabayaan natin siya during the time of Hitler. Diba? He was not censored and we had World War, we had the Holocaust. So, do we have to wait na magkaroon ng actual na gyera para matapos at masettle natin kung ano yung totoo? Oh, Paul, ito. Kasi parang sa ordinaryong tao, napaka-abstract nung sinasabi natin na ang misinformation may magkakaroon ng epekto yan sa lipunan, sa demokrasya natin. But is there an actual harm on any person sa mga misinformation? Does it create an actual harm sa tao, sa individual?
Siguro sir, on surface level, wala. Pero in the long run, nagkakaroon. Kasi gaya nga nung sinabi dun sa documentary ni Maria Ressa, parang nangyayari sa democracy natin is layers, tinatanggal yung balat. Sa umpisa, parang okay lang, parang kalos lang. Pero in the long run, mauubusan ka ng dugo to the point na hindi mamamatay ka. Parang ganun yung point. So, ganun din sa freedom. So, konti, sige, yung sinasabi ni EM na as much as I beg to differ, nahayaan na lang. Hindi pwede. Kasi your right ends when another right begins. Kasi kapag hinayaan natin yung tao na nagkakalat ng disinformation, parang gobbles lang yun. Yung propaganda ni
Hitler.
Nagiging truth siya. Same with the propaganda team ng mga Marcos. kailangan i-draw natin ang line sa fact, sa truth. At hindi yun subject to opinion. Kasi sa Pilipinas nga, yun yung kultura eh. O opinion ko to, kahit mali, may cognitive dissonance, may bias talaga. And hindi dapat natin yun kinukonsente.
Sir, may isang example ako, yung case
Okay,
ng
sir.
ICC. Recently, nung naglabas ng ruling ang ICC sa isang African nation, hindi ko maalala kung ano yung African nation na yun. Kasama sa mga pinarusahan nila ay yung mga reporters, mga announcers sa radio. Kasi nag-incite sila ng violence against a specific ethnic group, kaya nagkaroon ng cleansing, no? So in a way parang ganun din yung nangyayari kay Mocha at sa iba pang mga misinformation vloggers na kung tawagin ko sila. So merong danger doon sa speech nila kasi they're trying to shape public opinion, no, na sa maling paraan. So on the same level lang, for example, mga anti-vaxxers, di ba? Mga ganyan.
Later tayo dyan sa conspiracy theory, Jeff.
Yung mga ganon. So si Mocha, parang feeling ko, hayaan siya magsalita, but make sure na maging accountable din siya dun sa sinasabi niya. Diba? So hindi siya free for all na speech na kahit anong gusto mong sabihin, pwede mong sabihin. At some point, you have to be accountable on what you say. Kasi lalong-lalo na kapag ka nagkaroon ng masamang epekto. Diba?
Pero that's exactly the point eh. Who would say na may masamang epekto siya? Yun nga, sa regulation, it will come down to regulation eh. Kaya, totoo naman na fake talaga, kung fake talaga yung sinasabi, di ba? Pero, who would say na may negative effect siya? And sino magsasabi na dapat na ito yung penalty? Kasi, at the same time, it can be argued back na yung mga sinasabi ng mga anti-government, anti-Duterte, na dapat na yung mga fake news na nalalabas nyo, dapat may yan. Or let's say fake news. Yung mga opinion nyo, if nagkukos din yan ng damage. And dapat managot din kayo, maging liable din kayo. So, yun lang. Yun sa regulation side kasi, yun yung parang naging problematic sa akin.
Sa akin kasi, for example, ang classic example ng biktima ng misinformation is Laila De Lima. Di ba? I mean, hindi ko alam if she really sold drugs in the Bilibid, pero yung isa sa pinakamatindi na tingin ko hindi na dapat isinama, yung porn, yung supposedly sex video ni Laila De Lima. Well, I watch it, I know it's not her, pero may mga tao na naniniwala na talagang si Laila De Lima yun. That caused harm to a person, di ba? Nakakulong siya ngayon. Hindi niya kasama magulang niya. So, but how do you compensate that injustice na ginawa ng misinformation? At ang nakakatawa dito, yung mga supposedly mga tao na nasa gobyerno, mga kongresista natin, sila tong mga amplifier and mga nagpo-push ng mga misinformation na to kay Laila De Lima. Yan. Okay, let's go.
Doon lang, sir. Yung sa case na yun, kung ganong scenario, di ba meron kang recourse under our law, under existing law. Di ba? Kaya nga mayroong libel laws. Kung nag-share ng sex videos, meron ka ng anti-voyeurism or alam mo ko na yung law sa pornography, yung pag-share ng mga sex videos, ganyan. You have recourse eh. You have recourses under the law. Now, kaya mong panagutin yung mga nag-share, yung nag-post nun.
Pero yung mga congressman natin, hindi naman nila pinost eh. Pinag-usapan nila sa session, sa hearing ng Kongreso. And they're immune for that. How? Di ba yung isa nga, spokesperson pa natin ng gobyerno ngayon. So, paano mo papapanagutin yung mga yan? Hintayin natin mag-2022? Anyway, siguro lang din yung sagot dun sa dun sinabi mo kanina, bakit ba may mga taong naniniwala dito sa mga misinformation, hindi ba? I saw a TED Talk, ang sinasabi niya that people are not, we're not designed to know the details of everything. Kumbaga, we're designed to specialize on something, but we rely on other information from other people. And yung classic case na sinabi niya na yung isang tao nagpakita ng glowing rock. I don't know if you watch this TED Talk, glowing rock, and one group of people, sinabi niya na hindi niya alam bakit nag-glow tong rock na to. And tinanong niya yung mga tao, alam niyo ba kung bakit? Hindi rin. Pero when he went to the second group of people and he tried to explain why the rock glowed, yung mga tao, they felt confident na kaya nilang i-explain at naiintindihan nila bakit nag-glow yung rock. Ganon din yung internet, ganon din sa social media. What we see about a certain issue are just snippets of the anti-terror bill, of the case of Laila de Lima, about misinformation. And pag lumabas tayo, nag-post tayo, ang pakiramdam natin, we're confident enough na alam na natin yung sinasabi natin. When in fact, we know only a surface of everything. Kaya ako minsan mabagal mag-post about a certain issue kasi hinihintay ko na lumabas lahat ng issue. Pero may mga tao na hindi ganon. Okay, so let's go to conspiracy theory. Ito, binabanggit kanina ni Jeff, yung mga anti-vaxxers, di ba? Yung si Bill Gates daw, for example, is trying to depopulate the world by giving the vaccine for COVID-19. Or he would be putting mind control chips para sa mga tao na to. Itong COVID-19, itong pandemic created a lot of conspiracy theory. Kagaya na kung bioweapon ba to. May kakilala nga ako, I respect him, he's intelligent, but he believes in the idea na na posibleng bioweapon itong COVID-19. So how do we treat itong mga conspiracy theorists, itong mga anti-vaxxers? Are they a threat? Do they pose an actual threat and therefore their words has to be regulated? Anybody? Jeff, baka gusto mo?
I think depende kapag may direct impact sa public safety. So one instance is yung anti-vaxxers. So maraming case ng misinformation na lumalabas na nakakaapekto sa, for example, yun nga yung percentage na nagpapa-vaccine ng mga babies nila because of a certain conspiracy theories. So dahil doon, hindi ko masabi kung misinformation ba yung ginawa nila Attorney Persida Acosta before about Vaxxa, no? So I think patong-patong yung misinformation doon at nag-result yon sa mababang vaccination rate ng DOH. And partly to be blamed is yung misinformation nga na yun. So nagkaroon ng hindi ko masabi na direct na ito yung effect na pero yung nag-emerge yung mga sakit gaya ng measles, no? Dahil sa hindi pagpabakuna. Polio, dahil hindi sa pagpabakuna. Pero sinasabi ng mga experts na partly to blame yung misinformation na to dahil natatakot yung mga magulang na pabakunahan niya yung mga anak nila dahil nasira yung concept ng bakuna dahil sa ginawa nilang misinformation sa Vaxxa. So,
Emil, you wanted to say something?
Yes, sir. So, belief on conspiracy theories is protected by freedom of thought. That's a fundamental freedom guaranteed by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, even our Constitution. But once you acted it out and it causes harm to another person or to the public, as what Kuya Jeff said, then that's the time that the state can punish you for that. Diba? So parang lang din yan, yung mga satanista sa United States, diba? If you are a self-professed Satanist, the freedom of religion protects you for that. But once you start to
sacrifice
ka na ng human life, that's the time that the state can punish you.
Hindi, but these ideas, halimbawa nga yung mga anti-vaxxers, di ba? Tingin nila, this is a conspiracy by the elite to depopulate the world. So hindi kami magpapa-vaccine. Pero yon may halimbawa yung measles tatanggal na yan 20 years ago pero bumalik ngayon halimbawa sa US because of these anti-vaxxers. So, hindi ba may direct harm yon and therefore we have to regulate that?
Well, it would depend on the strength of a lawyer. For instance, if you would like to file a case against these anti-vaxxers, it depends on his ability to create or to explain a causal connection between anti-vaccine rhetorics to the actual harm. So it depends on the strength of a lawyer to litigate that. For instance, a lawyer can file a case against Presida Acosta, and in the court, that lawyer can prove that there is a causal connection between the utterances of Presida Acosta to the actual harms about dun sa about dun sa actual harms dun sa pagkakaroon ulit ng outbreak ng measles, di ba? So there's a way to regulate that through litigation.
Okay. So Paul, kaya ka panipaniwala itong mga conspiracy theory kasi karamihan sa kanila are intelligent people. For example, yung pamangkin ni JFK, John F. Kennedy is an anti-vaxxer. Si Robert Francis Kennedy Jr. Anti-vaxxer siya, is a conspiracy theorist. He's a conspiracy theorist and people believe him kasi mukha naman siyang matino, hindi ba? Pero, example like this, tanggal natin yung pagka-celebrity niya. But people like DJ Lunyo, hindi naman siya, pagka narinig mo siya, hindi naman kapanipaniwala ka agad. Di ba? Pero I've talked to some na napakinggan siya and naramdaman nila yung fear na baka nga itong mga testing na ginagawa, there's a sinister move behind that. So, ikaw, ganun ba? I mean, yung mga conspiracy theories ba bumaba na sa level na kahit sino na lang, basta may platform, I'm not saying that DJ Lunyo is a conspiracy theorist, pero yun nga, maybe he's amplifying kung ano man yung nabasa niya and he thought he understand it. What do you think about that, Paul?
Ako ba, sir? Okay.
Yes.
I think, sir, kasi yung rise talaga ng social media from decades ago kasi yung intellectuals or celebrities can only be accessed to a particular medium. Ngayon, everyone has a platform and as long as charming enough ka, nobody will even ask your credentials. I think ganun na yung tao ngayon. As yung authenticity ang hinahanap ng tao, hindi na yung yung facts, yung kapag nakaka-relate na lang sila, pag nagre-resonate kung anong pinagdadaanan nila. Yun yung problemang nakita ko. Pero hindi issue kung sino at paano ginawa yung information or disinformation. Ngayon, tingin ko ang tao kasi naniniwala, regardless kung totoo siya o hindi, kapag nakaka-relate sila. Kaya, I think, hindi lang si DJ Lunyo. Although, hindi ko napanood, sir, yung niya. Kasi, although, excuse me, may idea ako na may sinabi siya, pero hindi ko pinanood yung buo. Pero yun yung take ko dun, sir. Kasi ngayon, basta may enough following ka, what you say is the truth. Yun yung nangyayari ngayon.
Although,
do you
sir,
Emil, go ahead.
Although, sir, we have to also take note the point that although there is a proliferation of fake news or misinformation at this day and age, is still, in terms of access to information, in terms sa level ng knowledge, we are better off than a century or 50 years ago. I mean, there are more legitimate information that can easily be accessed by people today more than 10 years or 20 years ago. So that's another paradox, di ba? And I think
but the problem is, hindi naman lahat masipag mag-Google. Kagaya ng sinasabi natin kanina. Anyway, ito naintindihan ko, for example, yung kung bakit may mga tao na attracted sa conspiracy theory eh. Kasi yun nga, somehow when you try to read it, even the most intelligent people would think na posible naman talaga itong mangyari eh. Kasi pinaghahalo yung facts and fiction eh. These are not all fiction. There are also some facts na ipinasok doon tapos pinagtatagni-tagni na lang nila. But the question here is, yun nga, halimbawa si Copernicus, si Galileo Galilei, o sila, nung panahon nila, they might be considered conspiracy theories, di ba? And somehow, pinigilan sila na sabihin na hindi ang mundo ang sentro ng universe, but it was actually the sun where we revolve. And centuries later, they were proven right. So, ganito ba to? Is this what we are seeing from these conspiracy theories na they wanted to be proven right eventually, not necessarily now? EM. Or Jeff. Kasi ikaw yung mahilig dyan eh.
Well, it depends, no? I think it's unfair na i-compare natin sila dun sa mga scientists. Kasi yung mga scientists before, they're speaking on backed by science, backed by research, and I believe they are open to be disproved, 'di ba? Yun naman sa research eh. Ang problema dito sa mga anti-vaxxers, walang base ng science yung mga pinagsasabi nila eh. Parang sobrang uso ngayon.
No. I disagree with that. Kasi yung anti-vaxxers, basically, ang sinasabi lang nila, yung vaccine talaga is not the vaccine eh. Di ba? Yung katawan mo pa rin yung vaccine, hindi ba, Jeff? As I understand it from how the vaccine works. Pag inoculate ka, nilagyan ka ng bacteria or ng virus and your body reacts to it. And then you create an antibody and now you're immune. Pero hindi talaga yung vaccine yun. It's
correct.
So ganun din yung sinasabi ng mga anti-vaxxers. Hindi ko kailangan yan kasi wala akong tiwala dyan sa i-inject mo sa akin. Kung gusto kong ma-immune, pababayaan kong magkaroon ng bulutong tong anak ko. And then eventually, his body will create the antibody. Well, so may science, may basis ng science.
Well, alam naman din ng mga scientists yon, but nakita naman yung history eh. Bakit kinailangan ng vaccine? Kasi maraming namatay at that particular time na yung sakit na yun, wala pang vaccine. And kaya tayo nag-introduce ng vaccine para magkaroon ng safe way na para makapag-build yung mga katawan natin ng antibodies na mas lumaki yung chance nila na mabuhay kapag tinamaan ka ng sakit na yun. 'Di ba? Compared sa natural selection yung gusto mong mangyari, 'di ba? 'Di ba? Para
survival of the fittest.
Correct. So, in a way, yun naman yung trabaho ng science and medicine, 'di ba? Kasi kung ganun yung mindset natin, dapat wala ng ospital, wala ng gamot at all, 'di ba?
Hindi, pero ito nga ang problema eh. For example, WHO on chloroquine, 'di ba? A few days ago, sabi nila chloroquine shouldn't be used, walang epekto sa COVID. And then a few days after, may panibagong WHO report na pwede na uli siyang gamitin. I don't know kung nasundan niyo siya. Pero kung ako, sinusundan ko to, sasabihin ko, bakit? Bakit from sinasabi niyo, hindi na pwede, tapos pwede na uli? Anong meron? Meron bang big interest like Big Pharma or a group of people who wanted to make money? So nagkakaroon na ngayon ng cause yung pagkakaroon ng idea ng mga conspiracy theories at kasalanan yan itong supposedly yung mga experts natin. Kasi sila mismo hindi magkasundo. Emil.
I agree with you, sir. The irony is that these conspiracy theories, conspiracy theory believers, they are the most read. They are the ones who read. And they are the ones who ask questions. It's just that they are just being misguided. But I would like to zero in to the reason why there is a propensity for them to distrust the system. Diba? To distrust the expert. And I felt that it has something to do with the general failure of our society of late capitalism to assure us, to give us a security that everything is just in our society. So I would like to connect it to the general nature of late capitalism, wherein we know for a fact that there is some hidden forces in our society today that somehow rules our lives. It could be the elites, the experts. That's why feeling ko symptoms lang siya. Ito mga conspiracy theories believers, symptoms lang siya ng failure ng society natin to give us what we need. A security, not only in terms of economics, but peace of mind. That's why people are asking.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move on to another topic, di ba? We discuss harm speech, and now we'll discuss offensive speeches that may not necessarily be harmful, or I don't know if it will be harmful, but one of it is political correctness, di ba? Just recently, J.K. Rowling was in trouble because of her views about transgender people. Ang sabi niya, transgender women are threat to women and transgender men are confused. And somehow, most of allies of LGBT and LGBT peeps are canceling her out. I mean, ano na ba? Is political correctness gone out way too much? Sobra-sobra na ba yung pagiging politically correct natin? O what do you think? EM?
I think yung with regards to political correctness, I think okay lang siya. Yung as society develops, as we create new terms, new ideas, we actually
we're
become
trying to
accepting
be
more.
polite. Is that what you're saying? We're just
Yes,
trying to be polite.
yeah, and we notice, we learn that certain things, yung mga nakagawian natin sa past, it's not acceptable na to our current society. Diba? Parang, there are certain terms noon na pag ginamit mo, it's okay. Pero right now, hindi mo na siya pwedeng gamitin. Kasi you recognize na there are a group of people na nasasaktan sa ganitong words, or that it affects certain groups of people na it's offensive to them. It's not na you're trying to limit yourself. It's just that you're trying to make the world more equal to certain groups of people na historically are being abused with this word. So I think yun. Yes, sir.
Siyempre yung racism is a big hot topic now in the US. And nakita natin in Europe, several monuments are taken out because supposedly these complex characters na may mga monumento, hindi lang naman sila mga slave traders, they're also philanthropists. But yun yung na-amplify na sila yung mga slave traders, and therefore their monument has to be taken out of the streets of the cities. So ganun ba talaga? I mean, we only look at the bad things na ginawa ng tao. For example, Woodrow Wilson. By today's standard, he's an unabashed racist. Ayaw niya yung papasukin yung mga itim sa kanyang eskwelahan when he was president of a university. But at the same time, he was the father of modern public administration. He was the father of the League of Nations. That was his contribution. So, paano natin titreat itong mga gantong personality in the past? Kagaya ngayon, pinag-uusapan natin to. Mag-aalala ba tayo na in the future, na baka we will be judged by what we are talking right now, and it will taint kung may anumang legacy, kung may legacy man tayo sa lipunan? Ganun ba dapat? Or, what do you think, Emil?
For me, sir, yung nangyayari sa United States wherein they're facing the structures or the statues of these personalities, it's a way of correcting historical narratives. because historical narratives are heavily skewed in favor of these figures. So this defacement is a way for us to have a correction of how history is written favorable to them, diba? So for me in that sense, it's acceptable because we have to recognize that number one is that the history is written favorably to for them, diba? And that needs correcting. That's why these performances or these actions are means to correct that.
Yeah, pero when we try to be politically correct, whether it's in the monument or the way we talk to people, hindi ba it does stifle a right to freely speak about it? Kasi natatakot ka na eh. There's a chilling effect. If you talk about, for example, na halimbawa si Milo Yiannopoulos, he's a provocateur of the conservative provocateur. Sinasabi niya palagi, feminism is a cancer. It's or for example, sinasabi niya pag ang trans, you will be called transphobic if you do not agree to have sex with a trans woman or a trans man. I don't know. So somehow ito pa. Hindi ko lang kung maalala nyo, but siguro mga 2 years ago, may big rally sa UC Berkeley because Ben Shapiro was invited, nagkagulo, dahil students doesn't want him to speak in the campus. Sa atin, siguro, ang pinakamalapit dyan, yung mga militar ayaw pagsalitain sa loob ng campus ng mga left-leaning organization. Is this how we want our society? Na if we do not agree and this is our turf, we won't allow you to speak.
Actually, sir,
Jeff? Oh, okay.
I would just like to add something on political correctness because I am also a critic of political correctness. The problem of political correctness is that it is a convenient way to cancel a person, to shut off the person without the benefit of a deeper academic interrogation of what he or she is saying. For instance, J.K. Rowling, perhaps she said something about her experience as a woman that can be interrogated academically. That is valid, that can be interrogated academically. But because of this political correctness, cancel culture, we took that chance to interrogate what she said in a very sober academic manner. So that's the problem of political correctness.
Pero tama rin naman si EM, di ba? That this political correctness is supposed to protect yung mga nasa disadvantage.
Yes, to be fair.
And oppress, hindi ba? I don't know, maybe you could ikaw yung mahilig sa mga political thoughts and theories dito, Emil. But do you think this is also has something to do with the fight between the Renaissance thinking and the postmodernist thinking about the structures of power? Kasi yung Renaissance thinking, di ba, Eurocentric, that the white people wrote our history, that's why we are in this situation. But the postmodernist view of things, yung identity natin, whether we are a woman, LGBT, or white, or minority, colored people, we identify with them, and then we try to empower yung tribe natin. Ito ba yon? Ito ba yung nakita natin na nangyayari?
I agree, sir. That is a very valid critique because what they are saying, some academics are saying, is that this phenomena of political correctness are products of the orthodoxy of postmodernist thinking in the academe. Because in the academe in the United States, even in the Philippines, there is orthodoxy on postmodernist thinking, and since there is no absolute truth, therefore anything can be questioned. So that is the same argument used by those who believe on fake news, diba? On misinformation. In fact, that may nagsasabi na yung post-truth phenomenon is a product of postmodernism. And it's mainstream, and since it's mainstream in the academe, na-adapt siya sa buong society. So I agree with you, sir, on that.
Okay. Question. Yung artistic pursuit ba is a license to offend? What do you think? Ian, Paul, Jeff?
Oh, I think yes. Kasi you're trying to push boundaries eh. No? Kapag nasa safe zone ka and you're an artist, di ba? So you wanted to create a new impression, no? So ma-achieve mo lang yung isang bagay na tingin mo artistically valuable if you want to offend sensibilities, di ba? You want to go against the norms beyond what is accepted by the society, di ba? And I think
okay, I'll give 2 examples and you let me know, Jeff or Paul or EM or Emil, if you think this is a valid license to offend. Yun nga, in 2011, Medeo Cruz had an exhibit in CPP, a cultural center, CCP, Cultural Center of the Philippines. And then he had a depiction of Christ na yung ilong ay may ginawa niyang male genitalia. And then may cross na may mga condoms and also a male genitalia. He tried to explain it na like what you said, he was trying to push boundaries, questionin. And until now, ginagawa niya yan. I look at some of his exhibits, ginagawa niyang, halimbawa, yung ulo ng Santo Niño, ginawa niyang Darth Vader. But that was eventually pulled out from the cultural center. Do you think that was a valid limitations on his right to free speech, or he has gone too far? O, isa pang example would be yung case ng Charlie Hebdo, di ba? Na they depicted the Prophet Muhammad sa warmonger. So unfortunately, it resulted to the death of 12 staffer of Charlie Hebdo and 11 injured. Are they pushing the boundaries too much? Or this is still covered or protected by free speech? What do you think? Ian?
I think it's still protected by free speech. In both examples, it is a depiction of your... It's a way to express your opinion on a certain topic. And though it may offend someone...
It will offend someone.
Yeah, it will... Though it offended some people, it's what you believe in. Sabi nga, as explained kanina by Kuya Emil, yung freedom to believe, freedom of idea, you can have your belief, diba? Pero as long as you are not forcing it on another person, there's no violation eh. So, with that, I think pasok pa rin siya sa freedom of speech mo. Yung ganong mga depiction.
Paul, what do you think? Are you religious?
Not really, sir, but I think they crossed the line. Although, yung sa Charlie Hebdo, may mga nakita akong okay naman, hindi naman talaga offensive. Kasi sir,
kasi maybe it's not offensive to you because you're not a Muslim. Pero for example, may mga sekta sa Islam na bawal talaga ng image ng propeta or even ni Allah. And they did that. So, go ahead.
I think yung magandang example na hindi offensive in conjunction to the religious freedom of expression, yung sa US, yung mga satanista sa US, na may napanood akong documentary na sa every time na magtatayo ng parang anything in connection with God, maglalagay sila ng pang-satanista just to challenge. I think that would be more, for me, even if Christian ako, technical Christian ako, hindi ako na-offend sa ginawa nila. Pero when you use the religious figure and make it your own, I think that's too much. But to use something which is patently contrasting or talagang head-on, sir, nilalabanan nila. Pag, sige, magtatayo kayo ng Jesus or anything with God, magtatayo kami ng Satan is the Lord or something. I think that's okay. Yun yung freedom of expression na I think is ideal para pero yung examples yun, sir, I think
Just an analogy, kagaya na sinasabi mo. For example, pagka yung bakla, tinawag ng bakla, hindi siya offensive. Pero if a straight person calls somebody bakla at hindi naman kayo magkaibigan, that's offensive, di ba? Parang ganun ba? Or,
yes,
for example, kung puti ka, tinawag mo yung negro na nigger, then that becomes offensive, hindi ba?
yes, sir. I think ganun yung parang analogy.
Ganun ba yung analogy mo? If it's...
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Emil, do you want to add up to that?
Ako naman, sir, I actually explained this to my students before. If you are an artist and if you want to offend, you can offend. You can use your art to offend. But you cannot use your artistic license to say to your audience not to be offended. Meaning to say, you can, for instance, in the case of panday sining, di ba? They can deface public infrastructures, but they should be ready to face the consequences of their actions. That is part of their integrity as an artist. Meaning to say, kapag artist ka, willing ka dapat makulong. Di ba? So for me, yung mga artist na gusto maka-offend, kapag gagamitin nila yung artistic license nila to offend, pero gagamitin din nila yung artistic license to get away from the possible consequence of what they did. For me, I don't respect them I don't respect them as an artist.
Pero halimbawa yung mga comedians, they get away with a lot of things. Of saying, di ba, mga politically incorrect terminologies, pag sinabi nila, sa atin lang, ewan ko, maybe because Vice Ganda is also a polarizing figure, yung rape jokes, maybe mali ako doon. Maybe mali ako sa paggamit ng example. But some comedians get away with a lot of things. Even yung presidente, di ba?
Exactly, pero I'm talking with the artist himself or herself, di ba? If you use your art to offend, then be ready to face the consequences of your action, di ba? If you are an artist na ang lakas ng loob mo mag-deface ng isang infrastructure pero takot ka naman makulong, I don't respect you. Because ang nirespeto ko ng artist yung kayang panindigan yung ginagawa niya. Pero ang theory ko dyan, sir, is that dapat, ang reaction is dapat 50-50, pantay-pantay. I mean, you can offend and some people can react to your offensive or offending action sa kanila, pero dapat yung reaction is equal. Yung case ng Charlie Hebdo, di ba, they offended Muslims, but yung reactions ng mga ibang Muslims is terrorism. I think that is not ethical. That is already overbroad. And I think, sa case na yan, I should go to the side of the artist, of Charlie Hebdo. Pero kung ang reaction lang naman ng mga Muslim is, they file a suit against the Charlie Hebdo, I think that is an acceptable response against sa ginawa ng Charlie Hebdo. So 50-50 dapat.
Okay. So, sabi mo kanina, the artist has to be responsible, di ba? For whatever action he does. Ang tanong ko, bakit itong mga artista natin, gawin natin yung example, yung shutdown ng ABS-CBN. For example, yung mga artista ng ABS-CBN, sila Coco, sila Angel Oxine, they elicit so much bashing and hatred online when they started to defend ABS-CBN. But, kung halimbawa, si Angel Oxine, she was doing relief jobs sa Mindanao o kung saan man nagkaroon ng bagyo, and we're okay with that. Pero pagka yung mga artista, they start to take partisan political stand, it elicits a lot of anxiety, anger, or yun nga, galit tayo. Why do you think that is?
Well, that is the unfortunate consequence when you commodify your art, your skills, di ba? I mean, since binibenta mo yung sarili mo sa mga audience, sa mga mamamayan, therefore, this audience has ownership. Parang they feel ownership sa'yo. So they can they can demand and say many things against you. That is the unfortunate consequence when an artist commodifies his skills to the audience or to his paying market. Is it fair? Is it fair? Well, I'm not sure. Pero I mean, malaki yung kita nila. I mean, si Coco Martin is a millionaire, 'di ba?
Mhm. Pero
Sir Jan,
go EM.
if hindi kasi limited sa mga artista yung ganong reaction. I mean, ang tingin ko kasi hindi nag-react yung mga tao dahil artista sila, but rather on the topic. Kasi nga divisive yung yung issue. I mean, very divisive yung president natin. And yung government, very divisive siya on certain topic. So, kahit sino mag-post, grabe yung yung reaction niya. Siyempre, sa end ng mga artista, malawak na yung reach nila eh. So, mas madami nag-react. Pero, put it on any other person, mas madami pa din, like, example me, kung usually may mga 10 comments sa mga posts ko, I would expect mga 40 comments kapag against the president or against the government, mas madami mag-react. Kasi nga, mas marami na yung belief ngayon, yung level ng discourse ngayon sa mga tao. Mas mas na-amplify.
Or do you think na we are a society of bashers talaga? We don't like to say na okay itong ginagawa ng presidente or ginagawa ng artista, but we like to criticize more. Do you think that is? What do you think, Paul?
I think so, sir. Kasi even yung question kung what makes a Pinoy sobrang divisive na siya. Kung ang happy ba ay Pinoy. Ano ba, in conjunction dun sa sabi niyong celebrities, nung nanalo si Pia Wurtzbach tsaka si Catriona Gray, sobrang unifying siya. Pero nung nag-take sila ng stance dito sa anti-terror bill, biglang kinwestiyon yung legitimacy nila as Filipino na parang beauty queen ka lang, wag kang mag-comment. And I think nagsistem yun dun sa gusto, kasi meron tayong underlying culture na gusto natin laging in favor. Gusto natin lagi tayong nanalo, gusto natin laging bida ang Pilipino. And dun tayo nagkumukuha ng sense of pride. And kapag masyadong sensitive yung ego natin collectively, at kapag naalala niyo sir dati yung sinabihan ni Dan Brown na Manila is gateway to hell, and yung MMDA natin biglang nag-issue ng statement, napaka-trivial, and naging part na siya ng culture natin. Dapat may gawin tayong paraan, at kung ano man yun, hindi ko din alam. Pero,
okay. So, we're talking about division, di ba? And so
yes,
far, the main culprit na nakikita natin dito, yung social media. Because kung dati, group texting lang and then limited to circle of friends, kung may misinformation and everything, now, friends of friends would be able to see post na may misinformation. The question is, and I'm posing this to you, Jan, there's certain proposal. Una, yung kay Elizabeth Warren, she wanted to hati-hatiin. Halimbawa ang Facebook. She disagrees that WhatsApp or Instagram should be owned by one single company. So, kung ang gusto niya, i-break up itong mga kampanya na to so that there will be competition and at the same time, walang monopoly on information. So, do you agree with that? Is that a good way on how we could tackle the problems of misinformation or offenses? And pangalawa, there's also what Twitter is doing now. It's classifying certain tweets, hindi ba? It's classifying certain tweets if it's misleading, if it's outright false, it's yon na hindi ginagawa ng Facebook. Because Facebook, although I look at it, kung magre-report ka, you can report nudity, self-harm, etc. But they're not actually doing what Twitter is doing. are these two proposals a viable proposal so para ma-resolve natin yung problema ng misinformation, offensive speeches, and harm to minorities? What do you think, Jeff?
I think what Twitter is doing is okay. No, you don't ban it outright, but you give people the context of the post. Kasi mahirap din naman na ibaban mo siya outright, diba? Kasi you limit the public to scrutinize yung mga ganong klase ng speeches. And I think doon yung pitfalls ng Facebook, no? Kasi they totally fail to enforce their community standards on certain personalities. Diba? Like kay Trump. Diba? And sabi ko nga, technology has changed the way we do speech. No? Before, kapag ka nagsalita ka, yung reach mo baka friends mo lang or kapitbahay mo lang, diba? Pero ngayon dahil sa technology, pwedeng ma-amplify into exponential yung amplification ng message mo. And yun yung meron si Facebook ngayon. And kapag hindi sila nag-take ng accountability na yung platform nila can be used against proliferation of misinformation, fake news, magkakaroon tayo ng problema. Diba? Parang if Nazi is like still existing today, they will probably use Facebook ads to propagate their Nazi agenda. So may social implications yung technology ni Mark Zuckerberg. Kaya kailangan they have to own up to it. Kailangan they should be made accountable sa kung ano yung na-built nila. Diba? Any type of tool that can be used to do harm sa society, dapat merong certain ownership, no? Not necessarily a law, but probably self regulation ba tinatawag. So we don't really need a law. Actually, they have their community standards against fake news. They're banning nga mga anti-vaxxers now. Why can't they do it for Trump? Diba? Kasi may political pressure, diba? So, doon pa lang makikita mong problematic na kasi they're also, bukod sa social media platform, they're also a business. Diba? And they have the interest of the shareholders because they are a public company, no? Listed sila sa mga stock exchanges. So, may certain na ganun. Yung position nila ngayon na dapat ay hindi i-regulate ang speeches. So medyo problematic tayo doon. Why? Kasi yung pagpapropagate nitong mga messages.
Hindi, kasi sabi nila, it's the consumer who should tell us whether the content should be regulated. Like you report it, di ba?
Correct.
Pero walang initiative on the part of the company na kagaya ng ginagawa ng Twitter.
Correct, exactly. Yun yung mali kay Facebook, sir, dyan eh. Kasi hindi niya ina-impose yung sarili niyang hindi siya nagko-con. Actually, they tried. No? And trivia, sabi nila, karamihan daw sa content moderator ng Facebook ay nasa Pilipinas. So, naka-outsource sa isang malaking outsourcing company sa Pilipinas yung mga moderators nila. At hihirapan sila kasi sobrang dami, di ba? Yung problema kay Facebook, it's not just about, sir, dyan, na mga users. Why? Kasi may algorithm that amplifies these messages. Diba? Na kung walang mga algorithms, kung natural nakikita mo lahat, kung wala kang pinipiling ma-post sa wall mo, walang algorithms na magsusort kung anong pwede mong makita based sa interest mo, based sa biases mo, okay. Pero hindi. There are algorithms that can actually manipulate how the people think. Diba? So it's originally intended to use for business, for advertising, but since advertising is manipulating social behavior, no? Behavioral economics, 'di ba? Na-weaponize ito against democracy kasi nga it's an effective tool to manipulate how people should behave, how people should buy their shoes, how people should vote for a certain political candidate. So,
okay. Paul, ang argument dito ni Mark Zuckerberg, ang sabi niya, Facebook and other social media is not media. And therefore, the standards that we ask for media to validate information and all of that stuff, hindi mo pa pwedeng gawin sa social media. Is he right? Is social media not media? It's just a platform?
I beg to disagree, sir. It is a it is a form of media because naalala ko nung college ako, may yung forms of communication ay kapag ka nag-transfer ka ng message, maaaring yung social media ay hindi siya pasok sa standard ng traditional media. Kaya nga a league of its own siya. I think the fact na nakakapag-transmit ka ng information through media, social media, is a form of communication. And I think basing that standard, mali si Mark Zuckerberg. Kasi syempre, kaya ayaw niyang i-akma dun sa traditional media yung business niya. Kasi masa-stifle siya eh. Yun yung problem. Kasi yung traditional media, masyadong stifled. Kailangan ng madaming regulation, madaming licenses, kaya nai-decibel ngayon. And it's also an effective way for him to escape that stifling mechanism na pwedeng gawin sa kanya ng state. Kasi ngayon, sinabi nga ni Kuya Jeff kanina na ang Facebook sobrang business-oriented siya eh. So wala siyang pakialam kung nawi-weaponize siya gaya sa Pilipinas. Ang pakialam niya is revenue. As long as may revenue, wala siyang gagawin to fact-check. Facebook doesn't care.
Okay, Ian. So we know it's a business, di ba? Pero yun nga, Liz Warren, she's proposing to break up the monopoly specifically of Facebook because Facebook owns WhatsApp, it owns Instagram, and combining all of that, parang the whole world population covered na nila and they control the information. Was that right? I mean, the reason why Friendster died is because it wasn't able to gobble up future competitor. Ito yung ginagawa ng Facebook. Yung mga future competitor niya, kinukuha niya para it could sustain itself. So, would that be good for society to break up all this monopoly of Facebook, or it would be bad for business eventually because, you know?
I think we should not break up yung mga ganitong companies, yung mga tech giants na they're saying kasi that these tech giants are enjoying monopoly over certain technologies and that they are acting beyond yung normal na conduct ng mga companies just because na mga disruptors sila eh. Hindi sila makontrol ng current legislation. I think that in the long run, it will be better just to let them be. Kasi someone will come out naman in the market that would offer something different. Like with yung sa Instagram and Snapchat, di ba? They nagkaroon ng Snapchat, then sa mga messaging app, may iba-ibang messaging app, may lumalabas na mga competitors eh. They don't have that monopoly na sila lang yung nag-o-offer ng gantong service.
Okay.
And yun. So I think mas better siya for innovation kung hayaan mo lang yung mga tech giants to continue.
Okay. So we move on. And may itong issue na to sa atin, yung anti-terror bill. And there is a fear whether, I don't know if it's unfounded. Sinasabi syempre ng mga legislators natin, hindi bago to. There's already a Human Security Act as early as 2007. Hindi naman inabuso. So, should we fear that the anti-terror bill would stifle free speech? Emil, what do you think?
Yes, we should fear anti-terror bill. I guess it's one of the rare moments wherein there is almost a unanimous legal consensus. There is a legal consensus that the anti-terror bill is a draconian piece of legislation, a proposal. Para may consensus almost na mga lawyers, mga organizations ng lawyers na na parang it's a badly written bill that we should really revisit. Not really junk, but revisit at the very least. So I guess that alone speaks something. The fact that almost all of the lawyers, I'm not sure with Attorney EM, almost all of the lawyers have this consensus that there is something fundamentally wrong on how the bill is currently written, and that needs revisiting.
Oh, Jeff, ang sinasabi huwag natin pag-usapan yung intricacies ng batas, whether it's that. Pero, do you think dahil it's the current administration or it's the current environment yung pinagmumulan nung fear? I mean, there was also opposition when it was the Human Security Act was made into law in 2007, pero wala namang nagsabi ng panahon ni Pinoy na tanggalin natin yan. Pero ginagawa ngayon may bagong batas na i-amyenda, mas matindi siya, totoo din naman yon. Pero yun bang atmosphere of fear na na-create itong in the last 4 years contributed ito sa mga takot natin ngayon?
Actually, yes, Sir Jan. Kung sinabi nga ni Senator Politixxx na we patterned this law sa ibang bansa like Australia, at some point, totoo yun. Pero pag compare mo yung Pilipinas, Australia, they adhere there to human rights, yung rule of law nila, maayos, napapanagot
malakas
yung
mga institution.
Malakas yung institutions, no? So sa atin, wala tayong ganun eh. So walang safeguard ngayon ang mga Pilipino. Kaya pag na-amplify yung fear natin dahil nga sa experiences natin, like yung mga violators ng ECQ ang nakukulong lang, yung mga maliliit na tao, yung mga powerful like Senator Coco Pimentel, si Libel, no, si Mocha Uson, hindi sila napaparusahan. So wala yung trust natin sa gobyerno na kaya nilang ipatupad ito, no? And on top of everything else is the war on drugs, 'di ba? No? Na dati yung sinasabi nila kung hindi ka addict, wala ka dapat ikatakot, pero maraming napatunayan na pwede ka maging biktima nun kahit hindi ka talaga drug addict. Case ni Kian de los Santos, diba? The judge ruled out na pinatay siya, diba? Pinaglaruan siya without any reason, diba? So yung mga ganong klase ng experiences ng mga Pilipino, I think it contributed to our fear now, no? So yung Human Security Act, nga sabi niyo nga, diba, panahon ni Jamie, hindi siya ganun diba? And kailangan talaga natin ng anti-terrorism bill, diba? Nire-request talaga to ng ibang mga bansa kasi nga feeling nila we have a lax na anti-terror law sa ngayon, no? And pero yun nga, because of that climate of ang tawag ba doon, distrust, no?
Impunity.
Climate of impunity na nararamdaman ng mga tao, and yung blatant disregard sa human rights na nung admin na to, ay feeling ko nag-contribute siya doon. So, and feeling ko napaka-wrong timing din, no, nung ginawa.
Because of the pandemic.
The pandemic. So, pwede naman nilang gawin yan kasi in effect pa rin naman yung Human Security Act eh. Diba? Hindi totoo na tayo, exposed tayo sa terrorism dahil wala tayong something. Merong Human Security Act. And for the past how many years, feeling ko naman naging kahit paano effective yun eh. Diba? Na deterrent. Kasi nakakapag-operate pa rin naman tayo against sa mga militia sa Mindanao, diba? Nakakapagpakulong pa rin naman tayo. Diba? May mga raids pa rin naman. Diba? And I think, dapat for my personal opinion, dapat nag-focus sila more on intelligence gathering, no? Kung paano nila ginagawa intelligence gathering. And
pero pinakamalaking intelligence fund ng presidente to compared to all other presidents.
Exactly.
So ano pang kailangan mo? Yeah, my question here is, kalimutan ko yung tanong ko. Ang tanong natin dito, bakit nga, anong tingin natin? Why do we think that all of a sudden, kinailangan tong batas na to? At nangyari to, nung yung NBI, I'm being a conspiracy theorist here, pero pag-usapan lang natin. Ang tingin natin dito, bakit ginagawa to ngayon samantalang katatapos lang ng mga hinuli ng NBI na isang businessman na sinabi niya epal si Bongo, o yung teacher na magbibigay ng 50 million to assassinate the president, o isang kliyente ni Chel Jokno na nagsabi na ang mga militar ay hindi dapat bumibili ng ganito kamahal na eroplano. So, may connection ba yun? Are these all connected to a bigger plan? How do we reconcile? Kasi bakit nga ipinipilit sa panahon ng pandemic? And then, they've tried it. Diba? Itong sinasabi nila, itong mga provision ng warrantless arrest or ikukulong ka to a certain number of days, nag-experiment na sila dyan sa Mindanao 2.5 years eh. Kung terorismo at yung mga Abu Sayyaf at Mauti Group ang target natin, tinry na nila yun. Ang ibig ba nilang sabihin, hindi effective yung martial law sa Mindanao? Is that what they're trying to say? Or are they setting all of this to a bigger plan, something grander? What do you think, Ian?
Sir, banggitin ko na yung sinabi ni Kuya Emil kanina, yung regarding sa mga lawyers na may universal consensus. May lawyers group kasi sa Facebook. Tapos puro lawyers lang. Magugulat ka, ang dami ding nagsusupport sa anti-terror bill. Pero sila din kasi yung mga anti-vaxxers, sila din yung makakaiba yung mga pananaw sa buhay. Pero mga lawyers naman. Yun. Eto, I can't speak din, doon sa question mo, Sir Jan, I can't speak doon sa intent nila. Kasi wala naman tayo sa room nung ginawa nila eh. Wala tayo sa decision making. Pero we can see the effect. Di ba? We saw people sa social media nag-change ng pangalan, naging mas silent, nabawasan yung mga commentators, nabawasan yung mga nagpo-post ng mga kasaloobin nila. And I think that's the effect eh. Hindi sasabi yung intention ng government na tinapat talaga nila to sa panahon na madami nagrereklamo. But that is the effect. Pinasa nila ng usapan sa batas na yan, na ipasa sa Congress, and nakita natin yung effect doon sa mga tao sa social media. They became silent, nagtago sa mga pangalan, parang gumamit ng mga pen names, and that is the effect of the law. Baka hindi yan yung intention, pero alam natin kung ano yung naging benefit sa kanila, which is nabawasan yung criticisms against this government.
Okay, thank you. Paul,
Yes, sir.
most likely, sabi nila, the president will sign this law. If you're an ordinary Filipino, anong gagawin mo once, would you still speak out against injustices in society pag naging batas na ito?
Well, sabi sir ng
Or ano pang pwede mong gawin?
Well, sabi sir ng Chief Justice, pwede daw mag-file. Siguro yun yung mas magandang recourse. Mag-file na lang to question. At least, even yung play field. Kasi, at least yung court, meron pa tayong last arbiter na medyo, na sana, at hoping na objective pa rin, hindi kakampi sa powers that be. Pero, hindi natin masabi. Kasi, agree ako sa sinabi ni EM. Yun nila. Kahit dun sa documentary, sir, yun yung sinasabi nung kung ang ganito kalalaking kumpanya nga natatakot, gaya ng ABS-CBN, kaya nilang i-shut down. Paano pa kaya yung ordinary tao? And I think, if that's the goal, kung yun man nga ang goal nila, successful sila dun. Kasi, at this point, hindi na talaga masaya yung tao. Kahit yung mga neutral or mas vocal pa ng support before with the current administration, medyo nag-flip-flop na. And it was a surprise for me. And yung anti-terror bill, medyo nag-stop yung ganung trend, sir. So I think yun yung goal.
Just to explain it, I think it's also because Duterte is perceived to be on his lame duck years. And at the same time, you also see itong gobyerno na to, medyo sensitive na rin sa public opinion. Hindi dahil, it's not by design, hindi dahil nagbago ang attitude ni Duterte. They're looking forward at 2022. They don't want a repeat of Noynoy Aquino that they will, that na perceive na insensitive and apathetic sa mga gusto ng tao. So this is happening. Again, thank you very much. It was a very informative and a very good discussion. So a few thoughts before we end our tonight's discussion. A free society depends on the free exchange of ideas. Nearly all ideas are capable of giving offense to someone. Every place, whether it is our school, our workplace, and even the cyberspace, must be a safe place for the exchange and criticism of all ideas, even of the best and abhorrent ones. Free speech does not mean giving the bigots, the prejudiced, and simply those who are trying to make money a free pass. It includes the right and moral imperative to challenge, oppose, and protest bigoted views. Bad ideas are most effectively defeated by good ideas, backed up by ethics, reason, rather than by bans and censorship. Thank you and good night.